nothing happens in the realms of energy without it being constructed by the level of vibration. Your vibration equates your experiences. Whatever will transpire in your business, in your marriage, in your everyday to-day life is dependent on that level of vibration we call the septal energy. You know about vibration, but do you know how to apply it in your everyday life? Once again, I want to welcome you here to another wonderful session of our live streaming. This is the Way Network, and I am your brother FP Mensah, and I'm coming to you live from our studio. I hope we are all doing well and kicking, looking at what is going on around the world and how things are kind of transpiring and the kind of rapid changes that our world is going through. I hope we are all coping with the situation. I want to say very big thank you to all our followers, subscribers, both home and abroad, for your support, your dedication, your commitment, your prayers, and everything that you have done directly or indirectly to support this organization get to where we are and to be able to get to where we are destined to go, and the call and the mission that has been assigned to us. I want to say thank you very much, and God richly bless you. May the infinite intelligence be your guide and see you through all situations that you are experiencing. Today, I want to talk to you about something which is quite phenomenal, and that is vibration. It's something you've always heard about it. Vibration, energy, frequency, vibration. But do we really understand what vibration is? Do we understand what frequency is? And do we really understand what energy is? And how are we able to use it in our everyday lives? Because I have always been on the opinion that having knowledge and not being able to apply the knowledge is as useless as not having the knowledge at all. I remember when I went to school and during orientation, our general arts, not general arts, I think graphics designing teacher, lecturer, told us that the greatest art piece in the mind, the most wonderful and aesthetic design in thought that can never be expressed on paper is as useless as not having the idea in the first place. So same way I say that having knowledge, having understanding of something, having had a lot of information about something and you're unable to apply it in your everyday life is as useless as not having it at all. So my question is, you know about vibration, but do you know how to apply it in your everyday life? Do you know the types of vibrations we have and how to elevate those vibrations? These are things that we are going to delve deep into it and then find out what we can do in a practical way to be able to utilize this vibration we have been hearing and we have been talking about. Stay tuned, stay connected to the end. You're going to have wonderful workable tools to make you apply this knowledge in real time and in real life. Share this video to other friends, call other friends to come and subscribe and listen to this video so that collectively we can make this world a better place. Now, today we are talking about how to raise your vibration. How to raise your vibration. And don't forget that when we talk about vibration, is the engine to anything that is manifesting in this dimension of reality. That is vibration. Everything in life evolves around vibrational frequency and energy. Everything from subtle to non-subtle activities all evolve around vibrational frequency and energy. Now, what then is vibration? I would want to explain vibration in its simplest form. In a practical way that we will all understand what actually vibration is. We all talk about vibration, energy, frequency. What are vibration and what are frequencies and what are energy? So what I would liken vibration to be water, okay? Vibration, I will liken it to be water. I'll relate it to water. Now, water at certain specific frequency, or water at certain specific resonation, under certain specific condition of temperature, would either turn into solid or would turn into vapor. So all that is going to happen, whether it's going to turn into solid or it's going to turn into vapor, is issues surrounding what? Activities. And what is at the center of it is the water, which is the vibration. Now, when water is at a low temperature or a cool temperature, what happens is that water or that liquid turns into frost and turns into what? Solid or cube. That is energy, because energy is tangibility. Energy is tangible. Energy is something that you can cause to manifest work. That is energy. So when water is at its low temperature or cool temperature, it metamorphosizes into solid, and that solid we call cube, ice, block, whatever it is. That is what we can liken to energy. So that ice, that frost, or that ice block is what we call energy, or that can be related to energy. Now, when water is on a high temperature of heat, that water converts into vapor or converts into steam. Now, that steam conversion, practically what is called is that we can relate it to what? Frequency. Because frequency permeates all space, and it's just in there, and it does not really have limitations. It has no confinement. That is frequency. That is why, like radio frequency, Wi-Fi frequency, mobile phone frequencies, they are everywhere. They are in the atmosphere. You cannot see it, but they are there. When you have your phone and you connect, you're going to have connectivity. That is frequency. So when you are on a high level of energy, you operate within a higher frequency. When you are in the normal level of resonation, you operate within the realm of vibration, which is our natural nature. Our natural nature is to operate in our vibratory frequencies. Now, when you are on a low level of resonation, you operate within the realm of energy, or which is the realm of density. Now, everything in life is particles, molecular particles. The more these particles become dense or compact, it creates solidity, and that solidity is synonymous to what we call energy. That's why energy is tangible. Now, when these particles becomes a little bit loose, creates vibration, goes into the realm of vibration. And when this particle becomes more loose or very, very loose and goes further apart from each other, it creates frequency. And then that frequency, when it goes further, it goes into invisibility. This is how life is formed. And in this bracket lies all the activities of the natural and the supernatural functions of anything you can talk of, from entities to beings to deities to gods to goddesses. When energies are operating, when entities are operating at lower vibration, they operate within the realm of energy. And that is where some of these entities, these elementals, operate. And when you go to a much higher level, which is above energy, is the vibration of the vibratory resonation. That is where these beings also operate. And then when we move on to a much more higher resonation, we enter into the realm of frequency. And that is where the intelligences operate. So, but today we are going to look at vibration. And the reason why you're looking at vibration, don't forget that I told you the beings operate within the realm of vibration. The entities, the elements, operate within the realm of energy. So we are going to look at vibration because vibration is our natural field, and that is why we are human beings. And I've told you that the beings operate within the realm of vibration. Now, everything in life is vibration, or everything in life comes out of vibration or manifests from vibration, because everything you see, there's nothing static or stagnant. Everything is vibrating at varying frequencies and varying vibrational resonations and varying energy. Depending on the resonation would either determine whether it's going to be solid or non-solid. So a great scientist like Albert Einstein told us that everything in life is vibration. A great scientist like Albert Einstein told us, and I quote, everything in life is vibration. Another great scientist in the person of Nikola Tesla says something. He said that if you want to think of the universe, think of it in energy, vibration, and frequency. Nikola Tesla. He says that if you want to think of the universe in energy, vibration, and frequency. The more you rise in resonation, you enter into the realm of frequency. The more you degrade in resonation, you enter into the realm of energy. And in the natural state, you operate in the realm of vibration. I wish I could demonstrate something to you, but it will be very difficult using this thing, okay? You see, when you have this, okay, when this is spinning this way, I can't hold it to spin, okay? You realize that you can count the movement, you can count the pen as it moves, okay? But if I have that intensity of resonation, so when the pen is moving, it is resonating. This is what we call resonating. Movement of molecular particles. Okay, when it's moving this way, it's once you can see it in tangibility, it is energy. It generates energy. Now, this movement, if it is going faster, okay, like this, it will be very difficult to see the blade, to see the pen and count it. Okay, at this level, it is what you call vibration. It is vibrating because it is moving at a higher resonation. Now, this pen can also move at a very fast resonation. Okay, that a certain level of resonation, it becomes invisible. The pen becomes invisible. You see all as some moving of an object which cannot be perceived. That level is what you call frequency. I'll use fan 2 as an example, and that you may understand it better. When a ceiling fan or a regular standing fan is moving and it's at a low level of resonation, you can count the blades and you can see the blade moving. At a much more higher speed of resonation, you can see the blade, but there's no way you can count the blade as it moves. And a much more higher movement of resonation, you can only feel the blade as if it's a circle, but you can never identify the shape of the blade. You can only see it as a circle, and it produces more air. When you can count the blade as it moves and you can see the shape of the blade as it moves, it's within the realm of energy because it's operating at the lower level. If it is moving, you can see the blade. You cannot identify the edges of the blade, but you can see the blade moving. It's at the level of vibration, and that is where all people under normal circumstance should operate. And when the speed is heightened, you cannot see the blade, you cannot see the shape of the blade, yet you can feel the air it produces and a circular shape. And that is the level of frequency. If the fan has a much more higher resonation speed, they can put it at a speed where you cannot see the blade at all. You can only feel the air coming out. This is how we humans operate, and everything within manifest creation work. And this is where we are not getting it right. Majority of us are operating in the realm of energy, and in the realm of energy, when it comes to the personality, can be likened to our senses, which is very tangible and very obvious. But when it comes to vibration, it can be likened to our subtle abilities or subtle resonations that has to do with our thinking, our emotions, our ego, our will. That is the vibration. And actually, it is in this level that determines what happens in our lives and the kind of things we experience in our lives. Our thoughts, our emotions, our will, our ego, our feelings, these determine what happens in our lives. If your marriage is going to go bad, it depends on how you think, how you feel, how you are egoistic, and the way you control your willpower. If your marriage is going to be well, it depends on how you think, how you feel, how you control your ego, and how you apply your willpower over things that are happening in your marriage. Likewise, your businesses. Likewise, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with friends, your relationship with families. Whatever will transpire in your business, in your relationship, in your marriage, in your friendship, in your everyday today life is dependent on that level of vibration we call the subtle energy, or the subtle form, or the subtle resonation. Because nothing happens in the realms of energy without it being constructed by the level of vibration. This is where we are struggling. We are not even talking about spirituality yet, which is the realm of frequency. We are talking about the realm of vibration. And the realm of vibration also can be likened to the soul of a person. And the frequency can be likened to the spirit of a person. And the energy can be likened to the senses or the physical structure of a person. This is what life is all about. And the reason why you are struggling is simply because you don't understand these things. Or we don't understand these things. And that is why we have all these deities around us. We have all these shrines. We have all these entities in the water bodies and all those things, and still we are struggling in how to handle our everyday life. But when you understand this aspect of your existence, you realize that you are able to meander your way through the unfoldments of this cosmos. The reason why we have prayed for so many years, the reason why we have visited shrines and other sources of mystic practices for so many years, and still we are not having any tangible changes in our lives, is because we have neglected this aspect of our existence. And the elites who understood this early developed these things, and they use it to control the world. Because one elite said, if you can control what a man thinks. One elite in the British Parliament said, I forgot, I don't want to mention the name wrong, said that if you can control what a man thinks, you don't need 4 concrete walls to put him in a prison. So they got to realize that, and they knew this knowledge early, that it doesn't matter what deities you have. It doesn't matter how many dwarfs you have. It doesn't matter the depth of the marine world you can go. If you don't have control over your vibrational field, you can do nothing in this world. And he who controls your vibrational field will control you. And that is why our great-grandfathers were having all these entities, having all these elemental forces, yet these elites came to colonize them and control the way they think. And irrespective of all the so-called powers, energies that they had, the elite could put a gun on a wall and tell them that if you leave, the gun will shoot you. So if you want to excuse yourself from the working field, go and seek permission from the gun, and this elite will leave and go. And all of them, if they want to go out for a break or to excuse themselves to a place of convenience, they will go and salute the gun and ask permission. This is a real story. This is a real event that took place during colonization. Why? Because they had a way to control our field of vibration, which is our field of thought, emotion, feeling, senses, ego, and will power. And if there's something we need to develop, this is what we need to develop. And that is why you notice that at the Way Network, we stay focused on the development of the personality before even we talk about mystical development. Because it is the bedrock, the foundation on which all other things thrives. When the thinking of a man is wrong and the feeling of a man is wrong, everything he does becomes wrong. Even including the implementations of spiritual knowledge. I repeat, when the thinking of a man is wrong and its feeling is wrong, everything he does becomes wrong, even including the implementation of spiritual principles. Because your thought and your emotion are constantly manifesting your reality, and you need to have control over it. You need to master it. And for us, on our part of our world, it's a big work that needs to be done. It's a very, very big word that needs to be addressed. So to be able to have control in your world of energy, in your world of tangibility, in your world of experience, you must be able to generate vibrations of certain altitude of resonation. Because it's either you are resonating on a high vibration or you are resonating on a low vibration. Now, most people constantly looking at the kind of environment we are growing in and the proliferation of information through social media, most people are now operating on low vibration. Very, very low vibration, and thereby creating coarse energy field or rough experiences. That is what I mean by coarse energy field. When your energy field is very coarse and rough, you have a very bad experiences in your life. And this is the trap or the cage in which a lot of people, the shackles in which a lot of people have been entrapped. Now, for those who are able to high levels of vibrational frequency, they are the ones who liberate themselves and have control over events that are happening in their environment. I'll give you a scenario, an example to further explain what I mean. You see dog and cat. A cat, because it operates on a high level of vibrational resonation, when things does happen, the dog is calm, the cat is calm, sorry. But a dog, because it operates at a low level of vibrational resonation, it easily agitated. So the slightest threat a dog see begins to bark. But the same threat a cat will see and will turn a blind eye and lie down as if nothing has happened. That's the difference in resonation. So in the dog's environment, the slightest agitation, it creates noise. That is a rough agitation, a cause energy. And that cause energy raises alarm and causes a very awful experiences. But in the situation of a cat, it is different. And the way the cat handles it is absolutely different. This is what it is. So the same way, a person operating at a higher vibration resonation, two people in marriage, one like a cat operating in a higher vibration of resonation, and one like a dog operating at a lower vibration of resonation. If the spouse comes home and the same situation that the one operating at the lower vibration of resonation, like that of the dog, perceives, that person begins to nag and agitate and begin to make noise and create fight and create chaotic environment. And that leads to a very bad experiences in the marriage. But the one operating at a higher vibration resonation sees the same circumstances, sees the same event, and is calm in how he or she handles the situation, creates a more calmer environment, and is able to create a better experiences, and is able to solve this situation or resolve the situation. Howbeit, both of them would, both the dog and the cat attitude will be able to resolve the situation. But by the time the situation is resolved through the cat and the dog approach, one will create a mess that may be irreversible, and the other one will still solve the situation, but solve the situation in a more conducive and a loving environment that does not need any form of repair, because no damage will be created with the person using the cat approach, which is of a higher vibration. But the one using the dog approach, which is of lower vibration, will create a coarse environment that will create rough experiences in the relationship, and then it will be very difficult to repair. So it is important that we are able to nurture our vibration to the level where we have absolute control over events as and when they do happen within our space. This I am talking to you. If you're able to master it, you become a controller of events unfolding in your life. Because divinity, God has given us the power and the dominion to subdue creation and to be in charge of this world and of our own world. Without it, you will lose great opportunities. And I have seen people who have lost marvelous opportunities, either to would have brought them significant progress and success in life. I have seen women out of low vibration resonation, they have met wonderful men who would have changed their lives, would have given them the love that they deserve, would have given them the peace of mind that they deserve. But out of operating from the dog personality point of view, they have lost this man. And now they are hooked up with men who are tigers, always creating pain and agony in their marriages. I have seen men who operating from the dog personality point, the low vibration point, have lost wonderful and sweet women. Either to this woman would have changed the destiny of this man, not in terms of monetary or physical acquisition, but in terms of peace, inner tranquility, self-respect, and dignity. But out of low vibrational resonation, this man has maltreated this woman, lost out on this woman, and now they've gone in for women who are torturing their lives. I have seen businessmen, I have seen young men out of low vibration frequency have lost opportunity in meeting profound people who could have changed their destiny in terms of investment. But because these young men are operating from a low vibration character point of view, they have lost out on these wonderful destiny helpers and destiny changers. And these people are still struggling in life. Myself, I had one like that in my office back in the days. So either your character or your behavior is operating on a high level of vibration or on a very low level of vibration. And trust me, if your character is generated or your behavior is generated from a low vibratory level, you will destroy all good things around you. Trust me, guaranteed. You can go to all the mystics in this world. You can go to all the deities in this world. You can go to all the shrines in this world. If your character or your behavior is being generated from a low level of vibration, you are going to destroy all opportunities that come around you, from marriage to business to friendship to environment to society to everything. And if you don't take time, you even use it to destroy your own self by creating ill health conditions for yourself. I have seen people whose characters are generated from low levels of vibration who has gotten unnecessary hypertension, unnecessary stress syndromes. Why? Because they are not patient. They are highly tempered. And all these characteristics are generating out of low levels of vibration. And that is what is causing all these ill experiences or bad or unwanted experiences in our lives. All the unwanted experiences that we are having in our lives, all the unwanted encounters we are experiencing in our lives is as a result of we generating character from a low level of vibration. And for those who are fortunate to be able to generate energy or character from a high level of vibration resonation, such people have control over the environment. They are able to maintain good relationship. They are able to maintain good businesses and progress good businesses. They are able to keep good partners in terms of businesses, and they are able to progress in life. I have seen people who, out of divine blessing or whatever, luck or whatever you may put it, find themselves at high positions in life, find themselves in a society of able, intelligent, well-to-do billionaires. But because they have not sharpened their character and they have not been able to train their vibration to a high extent, and their character is resonating from a low level of vibration resonance, they have destroyed that environment and they have been branded disrespectful, they've been branded uncultured, they've been branded uncourteous. And such societies has relegated them and neglected them because they don't want them in their midst. Make an introspection as I talk to you, or as you listen to this video or watch this video. Make an introspection. See some of the opportunities you have lost. See some of the finest people you have lost in your life, be it in a courtship, in business, in school. See where some of these friends you used to have in school, where out of your arrogant and disrespectful approach brought a separation between you and the person. Look at where some of these people are. Either to where they are, they could have been of assistance to you. This is reality. And we need to train ourselves and our children to be able to master ourselves to vibrate us from a higher dimension of resonation rather than from the low side. This is what it is. We need to work on our character so that our character or our behavior does not emanate or come out of low vibration. No, you assess yourself. You can see that you have met people in your life. You have been in businesses or you have been employed in places. Either two is a blessing. But out of your disrespect, out of your uncourteous lifestyle, out of your uncultured approach to people, you have lost those employments. And now you are in a state of need. And you wish you could be there. You wish you could have that friend again. But you cannot even approach that person because of your character, which is resonating from a low level of vibration. This, when you go to the mystics, this, when you go to the shrines, they won't tell you. But this is what is destroying your fortune. This is what is destroying your destiny. I always say that the things that are influencing our destiny and our lives negatively is not, I don't believe it's up to 15% spiritual or mystical. It's not up to it. You must learn to raise your vibration if you want to change your destiny and change your life experiences. This they won't tell you, but I will tell you, because I'm here to share unadulterated knowledge and truth with you. And any unadulterated knowledge and truth that doesn't start with you is not unadulterated. Every unadulterated knowledge and truth must capture you in the presentation, because everything begins with you and everything ends with you. All that is happening is as a result of your own vibration, energy, and frequency that is creating the experiences around you. This is the reality. So if you want to change your destiny, if you want to transform your purpose, if you want to change your experiences, watch where you are resonating for. Watch the level of your resonation from which your character is emanating. Is it coming from a low level or is it coming from a high level? Once you can figure out where you are resonating in terms of vibration, change has already begun. Change has already begun. Because when we talk about vibration, it's operating from the tangible perspective of the physical to the non-physical vibration. We have physical vibrations and non-physical vibration. And we humans operate at all levels of vibrating frequencies, vibrating resonations. We operate on all levels of vibrational frequency and energy, both in the physical and in the non-physical, both in the tangible and in the subtle. And everything in this manifest creation, be it trees, be it rocks, be it fruits, vegetables, animals, everything is resonating at certain level and degree of vibration. That's what we don't know. That is why Einstein said that everything in life is vibrating. Everything in life is vibrating. And for we humans, our vibration is within thought, emotion, and will, ego, senses. That's where we are vibrating. That's what our vibration is. And if you want to change your experiences, you must change the way you think, change the way you feel, change the way you handle your ego, and change the way you handle your will. Because these are subtle bodies that you have, that you don't know you have, but they are there. Your thoughts, your emotions, your ego, your will. These are subtle bodies. They are there. Before you come to your senses, hearing, sight, smell, taste, feeling, sense of touch, it's also part of, and all is vibrating. And all brought together is determining and shaping your experiences and your reality. And that is why today I've taken the pain to take you through how you can elevate your vibration, how you can raise your vibration. Because once you can raise your vibration and operate at a higher altitude of vibration, things around you begin to change. And that is why anytime somebody starts spirituality, and it is true spirituality, and the person begins to realize the divine light within the person and begin to resonate with that light, because light is also traveling, is resonating, the person's life begins to change and it becomes evident in the physical reality. This they don't tell you. And you must have a practical approach. You can't go to church, they tell you be good. Man, you're born, don't commit sin. Don't do this in the church. And still they are doing. Why are they doing it? Because they know how on how to do these things. They are not taught. It doesn't happen out of the blue. If it happens out of the blue, then the struggle with iniquity, the struggle with waywardness, the struggle with, for lack of better word, sin, should not be there. Because we develop the desire and the zeal for change. But for change to happen, it deserves works. Through hearing, we develop the desire and yearning for change. But for that true change to come, it deserves work to cause the change. Just the hearing does not breed the change, but it develops the desire and the quest for that change. But for the change to come, we need to work at it. And that is where the church is failing. That is where the mosque is failing. That is where most of the temples and other religions are failing. That's why when you go to the Bible, it said faith comes by hearing and hearing. What is faith? The inner energy, the inner ability, the inner strength to bring about change. That is faith. That faith comes by hearing and hearing what? The truth. But to bring about change, the same Bible tells you that faith without works is what? Dead. So instead of when you hear and you develop the desire and the quest for change and you don't work at it, that desire and quest for change would naturally and slowly die away. And that is why people hear the good news. So people hear the word, the gospel, they develop faith, they develop the desire and the quest for change, but with time they go back to their old ways and their old lives because they are not given the ability and the skill to be able to work at it to bring about that change. So the reason why people are failing is because the leaders of the religious institutions have failed them, not the people. Because the people come to the religion, come to the church, come to the mosques because that person doesn't know how. And you, the leader, the pastor or the imam, claim that you know how. And the know-how starts with teaching. The know-how starts with teaching. So if the know-how starts with teaching, then the person out of the teaching, the person now develops the desire and develops the faith, develops the quest and the will for a change to happen in the person's life. But you, the imam, the teacher, is unable to give the person the workable tools, the practical approach to which they can translate that faith, they can translate that desire, they can translate that quest into manifestation, into reality. And this is where the leaders of the church and the leaders of the mosque and the leaders of other religious sects fail the followers and fail the congregation. That is where they fail the congregation. It's also your responsibility to find out the truth for yourself. So we are going to look at how do you develop that aspect of your being in order to be able to raise your vibration. How do you live your life? What are the things that you have to do that will enable you elevate your life? Today, we are going to look at probably 4 or 5 of them, and in the part 2, we are going to look at the rest. Just a moment. So, what are the ways by which we can elevate our vibration? And it starts with a very funny suggestion, and it's so funny that you may not take it that serious, but it's very serious. And I put it as number 1 because that is what is easy and everybody can do. But before we go to that, I want us to look at some, because you must be aware of what are some of the character traits that breeds high vibration, and what are some of the character traits that determine that you are operating from the low vibration. Okay? So that you know that anytime you are operating from a low vibration, you know that I am operating from a low vibration because of the character traits that you are exhibiting. And anytime you are operating from a high vibration, you know you are operating from a high vibration because of the character traits you are exhibiting. So what are the character traits of someone operating from a very low vibrational field? One, the person is jealous. So anytime you are exhibiting jealousy, or you see jealousy exhibiting itself in you, you should know that you are operating at a low vibration energy, and you must quickly put a stop to it. Two, envy. You see that somebody is progressing, somebody is having something, and you wish it is yours. And not just wish it is yours, you wish that the person loses what he or she has so that you can get it. It's envy. And if you can't get it, you wish that the person loses it so that both of you don't have it. That is envy. It's a very low vibratory field of operation where a character emanates from. Backbiting. Backbiting is also, anytime you are going to backbite, know that your energy field is low. And watch, when you see people doing these things, these are people who have low self-esteem, and they feel they are failing in life, comparing themselves to other people. So always, when he sees the progress of Mr. A or Mr. B, Madam A, he wants to go and talk about that thing to somebody, trying to degrade the progress of somebody. And most of the time, people who are progressing in life, people who are billionaires, people who are chopping successes in life, they don't have time for this low energy filled character. But most of the time, people who are busy backbiting, exhibiting jealousy, exhibiting envy, are people who are losing out on life. And if I am losing out on life, then all other people must lose out on life. That is a very low level, below belt energy field. That is backbiting. For those who don't know what backbiting is, it's like I am working with Madam C, and then Madam C is doing something, and the thing is being progressive. Madam D is also our friend. Then I go to Madam D, saying all sort of evil without evidences, without truth, without an iota of truth in what I am saying, just to derogate Madam C to Madam D, so that I corrupt Madam D's mind against Madam C. That is backbiting. And it's a very evil character. And it is as evil as jealousy, and it's as evil as envy. Another low-level vibratory character is covetousness. Covetousness, where you think what somebody has should be yours. Or you want to forcefully take that which somebody possesses as his legitimate heir or legitimate access. It's covetousness. It's also very evil. In most cases, such low level of vibration character leads to confusion. So most of these people, they are confused. They don't know what to do in life. They turn right, nothing is working. They turn left, nothing is working. They go forward, nothing is working. They come backwards, nothing is working. So they are in the state of confusion. And to be able to compensate for their confusion, they engage themselves in low level vibratory character, just to make them feel good of themselves and of their situation. Another issue has to do with anger. These people, they are easily angered. Anytime somebody is operating from a low level of energy, the person is easily angered. Because why? That sense of inferiority and low self-esteem is playing out in the person's innermost field. And it's not the people's fault, because by nature, that's not what they are supposed to be. Because they are not supposed to operate in that low level energy. So when they are in that low level energy, they are so agitated. But the agitations of their soul, their intellect is unable to interpret it properly. And then it generates that field of energy and vibration. Now, most people operating in this level of vibration field are constantly engaged in evil conspiracies. Always conspiring evil against somebody. If such people operating at that low level energy field, if they are in a community, or they are in a society, or they are in, let's say, in a workplace, if that person is your marriage partner, or even if it's a friend who is close to your family, because of their low level, they are always conspiring evil. They don't conspire good. High vibratory character always conspire good. They always want to conspire about good things to happen. But sad people always want to point out wrong things or evil things that are happening. Always they want to get people to sit and talk about somebody's weakness, somebody's downfall. That is evil conspiracy. They always have what we call sinister expectation. They have what we call sinister expectation. And the sinister expectation simply means that they always anticipate something evil or something bad should happen to somebody. So when you are doing something, because he or she cannot do it, they always have sinister expectation. They are thinking that something evil should happen to, or something bad should happen to what you are doing. And they wish what you are doing is destroyed, or what you are doing shouldn't end well, or what you are doing shouldn't bring out your desired results. We call it sinister expectation, evil or bad expectation. People operating from low vibration frequency, that is where they operate. And these people, if you can't help them, you have to avoid them. Such people, when they are in your community, they are in your friendship, they are in your family, they are at your workplaces, and wherever you find them, if you don't have the power to help them come out of it, then you must do well as much as to avoid them. That is the truth. That is the truth. And then, with all this low vibration energy, what it does is that it breeds dark, destructive energy like fear and low self-esteem. And unfortunately, this low vibratory character ends up destroying the person. Because the other person who is having a high vibration energy, you can't corrupt the energy until the person directs its attention to you. When the person's attention is directed to your low energy, that's where you can put the person's vibration into the mud, and the both of you get into the low vibration energy. But if the person doesn't direct its attention, because where attention goes, energy flows, and you are controlled from that side. If the person does not direct its attention to that person's low level vibration resonation, at the end of the day, ultimately, that low level character vibration destroys the one who is emanating it. And the person develops fear, uncertainty, low self-esteem, self-guilt. And this character gradually, step by step, destroy the person. Now, when somebody is operating from a high vibration level, because of lack of time, I'll go through a little bit fast. Anybody operating from a high level of vibration, resonation in terms of character, one, the person has unconditional love. The person just loves without condition. Even when you are doing evil against the person, even when you have said things that the person knows you have said against the person, or the person have seen it, still the person shows you love. Because that means the person is operating from a higher vibration of energy field. So it doesn't that person doesn't want the low one to pull and corrupt and contaminate the energy field. That person always have contentment. The person is never stagnant, but is content with life. He is not jealous of what somebody is doing. He is not jealous of somebody's achievement. He is not envious of what his neighbor gets or possesses. He is content with what they have. And such people always work at their goal. They don't look at somebody that they should get what that person has. These people are always filled with bliss, joy, having a feeling of lightness, because they don't have heaviness on them, because they don't have ill characters embedded within them from the low vibrational level. They are always light people, and they are easy resonating. And this resonation of easiness and this high vibrating frequency produces creativity and innovative energy like courage, inner strength, prosperity, and progress. So anytime you see yourself resonating in none of this character field, you should know where it is coming from. When you want to have a scriptural defense to it, go to Galatians chapter 5, verse 19. It says that for these are the works of the flesh. And I told you the flesh, tangibility, it's low vibration field. It said, for these are the works of the flesh. And it lists them in the works of the flesh. And it said, these are the works of the spirit, which is higher, and the flesh is lower. The spirit is non-tangible, is subtle, and the flesh is tangible, is physical. So it said, these are the works of the low vibration energy which forms flesh. Covetousness, envy, jealousy, lasciviousness, including even witchcraft. And he said that for these are the works of the spirit. They are love, kindness, forgiveness, and all those things. These are the works of the spirit. So this is a scriptural Galatians chapter 5 verse 19 to defend what I'm telling you. Now, let's look at ways to which we can raise our vibration or elevate our vibration. And I said the first one is funny. The first one is right eating. You see how funny it is? Eating right. The first one is what? Eating right. And this, I put it number one because this is what everybody engages in. Now, somebody may ask, what is Mr. Mensah saying? What has eating right got to do with energy and vibration? You see, if you want to have a lot of love in your heart, if you want to have a lot of high energy fields within your aura, learn to eat and eat right. Because I have told you that everything in this physical dimension harbors vibration, or inherent in everything within physical form and non-physical form or subtle form is vibration. Both the vegetable, the food, the animal, the pets, everything that we eat. Now, there's something, that energy in those objects, you call them food. Science called that force inside nutrient. And our body needs nutrient. And the kind of nutrient we put into our body determines the kind of energy field or the kind of vibration field that we attain. So when you eat costly, agitated vibration food consistently, it creates high toxins in your system. And this high toxins causes your energy field to drop. So for instance, when you kill an animal to eat, the animal agitates in pain. This is when you take a cow, you take a dog, you take a cattle, you take a chicken, and you kill the chicken. The chicken feel pain. Obviously, pain is a low vibration field. So, and you know, energy does not dissipate. It inhabits the container in which it is produced. So when the chicken or the goat or the cow is going through agitation and that pain, that energy is inhabited in the flesh. Now, when you take that flesh and eat it, it is transferred into you. And that is why a lot of people who are meat eaters don't have conditional love. They don't have unconditional love. If they have any form of love, it is a conditional love. They show you love because they expect a benefit or they are having benefit from you. If you wrong the people, quickly they want to retaliate. And that love is not unconditional, it is a conditional love. So anybody that eats meat or eats dead animal that goes through pain and struggle, I can never believe that person has unconditional love. It is so happen that it so appears that the person has unconditional love because you have not offended the person. Because the way you see somebody having unconditional love is when you offend and wrong the person. And to develop unconditional love, you need to eat foods that have lesser agitation and lesser pain. Now, that energy within the food, which science calls nutrient, in the East, when they call it pranic energy, or the chi, or the life force. It's even in the air that we breathe. So the kind of food you eat highly determines your energy field from which you are going to resonate, whether from the low or from the high. So look at somebody who slaughters animal, somebody who works at the butchery and slaughters animal. It is easy to kill. And it is for the sake of learning, for the purposes of learning. Look at nations where meat eating is cheap. Murder is easy. Unlike certain part of the world, in Africa, in those days, back in the days, when meat eating was scarce, because we ate meat based on hunting. So there's no way you can just go and eat meat every day because your father must take the gun and go to the forest and hunt. So getting meat at home is very scarce. Killing was very difficult. Where people ate chicken only on Christmas, we had a lot of unconditional love. We cared for one another. When something is happening to somebody, everybody shows concern and wants to help. When meat eating became cheap and it was exported from the Western world, and now anybody can go to the cold store and buy a pound of chicken or a kilo of chicken, and meat eating has become rampant and common, now people don't care again. Why? It's not because they don't want to care, because they have dropped from the high level of resonation of love to the low level of carelessness. Because they are not tickled by other people's pain. Now when people get accident, people are oozing with blood, all that people can do is to take their phone and be videoing whilst the person is dying, needing help. It is all level of consciousness. And one of the ways that our consciousness is affected is in the kind of things we consume. Now when people get accident and they're in trouble, the next person will search his pocket and take personal belonging and effect and leave the person to die. But before, some years back, it wasn't like that. And nobody can account. The church is unable to sit down and account for why this is happening. Our Islamic brothers are unable to sit down to account for why this is happening. Why is the change in human character? That turn around. And I'm telling you, the kind of things we eat determines the way we feel. Because everything in life, don't forget, is energy, vibration, and frequency. And energy, vibration, and frequency don't die. They keep transmitting, or they keep on transmutating. So if you want to check your energy field, energy level, and you want to raise your energy level, be careful of the kind of things you eat. Do away with dead foods like meat consumption. If possible, reduce it drastically once a week, twice a week. Your love will increase. Do away with food with high toxins. Do away with processed food. I call it poison food. All the canned foods, they are processed food. They are poisons to our system. If you can't do away, minimize it. Because these things are creating low energy fields. And you think they don't know? They know. They want you to operate low so that they can control you, so they know. Why is it that the elite eats organic? Why is it that the elite, if they want to eat fish, they don't even eat the iced one, they want the fresh one, organic? Even if they want to eat vegetables, they don't eat the chemicalized vegetables, but they eat the organic vegetable, because they know that the chemical present in the vegetable also heightens the corruption of the energy of the vegetables. Yes, the vegetables has energy within it. It feels pain, but its pain is very minimal because it dwells on the chlorophyll, the green blood. Now, with the presence of the chemicals in the vegetables, it heightens the toxins in the vegetables. Thereby, when you take it in, it reduces your level of vibratory field. So check the things you eat. Now, the next thing we will look at is practice gratitude. Practice gratitude. What is gratitude? Oh, I wanted to bring something to show you. There's always something to be grateful. Can you please get me that thing? There's something always to be grateful for. There's always something to be grateful for. People don't practice gratitude. People don't practice gratitude. No matter the situation in which you are, no matter what you are experiencing, there is always something to be grateful for. Even if you don't have what to eat, you have the air to breathe, and you have to practice gratitude. Even if you don't have money, you have the strength to be alive. Practice gratitude. And these things opens enormous doors. These things opens enormous doors. Oh, is this I bought it from Malcolm. It reads, there is always something to be grateful for. And I have one in my house, and I want to put one in this office. This is called gratitude. There is always something to be grateful for. Don't be ungrateful, because ungratefulness leads to low vibration. Listen, when you are working with a friend, or you are working with a sister, a brother, a family member, any relation that you have that the person is ungrateful, the person does not show gratitude, the person operates in low energy field. There are some friends, there are some relatives, it doesn't matter what you do for them. They are ungrateful. Even when you are sacrificing your last for them, just because they don't know that it's your last you are sacrificing for them, they still remain ungrateful. Such people always operate in the low energy field. But people who show gratitude are always on a high level. And such people always, doors open for them. Opportunities avail themselves. And I can tell you that if you operate in the realm of ingratitude, you put every effort in things that you do, doors will never open. Always door will be closed because you are not grateful. You see, the problem we think we have is that with gratitude, we think that it is people that are doing it for us. But everything is being orchestrated by God through the universe, through people. So when I do something for you, no matter how small you think or insignificant you think, if you don't show gratitude, you are not showing gratitude to the source. So when you are doing something and you are beseeching the source for help, the source won't help you. And that is why most of the people who are ungrateful don't progress in life. And even if they progress, they ultimately lose that progress. I'll give you an example of something that happened to me. One of the days I was lying down with my son, and he normally likes to sleep with me. So it was around 1:32 a.m. I was awake, and I was thinking of why things struggle, and I've done meditation, I've done all this spiritual practice, I'm trying to, and why am I struggling, and why are things not going? Simply because that month I was financially tight. So I was lying down and I was thinking in my head that after doing all those things and trying to keep the laws of the universe and everything, still, why are things tight sometimes for me? That time my little boy was around the age of 2-3 years. He was asleep. And he turned his hand, he turned this way and put his hand on my chest. In his sleep, he started singing. Count your many blessings, name them one by one. And there's a song like that. I've forgotten the tune. I need to surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. And he was talking about, the song was talking about, when you are in the fix and things are up and down and all those things, learn to show gratitude. And when he started singing, I was like, I woke him up and he was dead deep asleep. I woke him up, I called him. He didn't even shake his head, but and he kept singing. Then I started introspecting. Oh, so why? I have this property, I have this, I have that. I know people who are even earning bigger salaries and having good businesses, and they don't have all these things that I have. Why am I being? Then I started apologizing to the divine intelligence and to all the spirits of the universe. And since then, I have never shown a sense of gratitude in my life. Now, this is the clue of what happened. When daybreak, I called my son and I told him to sing Count Your Blessings. Do you know my son never know that song? Up to today, he doesn't know that song. I told him, you were singing it. He said, no, what is Count Your Blessings? And it was around 2.5 to 3 years. That time, the universe is telling me to show gratitude. This is the problem of a lot of people. We don't show gratitude. And gratitude elevates our level of vibration. Test it and see. If you want doors to open to you, just begin to thank the universe. Just begin to thank God through the universe. Just begin to thank the infinite intelligence. Just show appreciation and gratitude to people. Take a phone and call people. I do it a lot. I take phone and call people and just thank them for just being around me. Not because the person has given me any physical, but just being around me. Just show gratitude. And you see the amount of doors that will be open for you. The next one I'm going to talk about is love. And we're going to end on this one for the sake of time. And we'll continue with the rest. Learn to show love. Unconditional love. Think of somebody that you love. This is the practical way to go about it. Think of somebody that you love. In order to generate the love inside, think of somebody that you love. And then visualize the person being with you in a very playful environment. Then you realize that the love begins to develop, the love begins to grow. That's the easiest way to generate your love energy. Anytime you feel yourself you are down, either show gratitude, be grateful, thank God, thank the spirits, thank friends who have helped you some way. Let them know that you appreciate what they've done for you. And then raise your love vibration. And this is how you can raise your love vibration. One of the easiest way to raise your love vibration is just being alone and visualize people you sincerely love. It can be your wife, it can be your children, it can be your relative, it can be your friend, it can be just visualize that person. Bring that person to thought. Think of the person and the good times and the good memories you share together. Naturally, your love will begin to elevate. This is just 2. We are going to talk about 8 to 12 of them. Ways we can elevate our vibration. Here, we give you nothing but the things that would help you. When you're able to harness these things and raise your vibration, that is when your pouring of libation, doing your rituals, that is when they become effective. Trust me on this one.